All right, so now we're going to do something a little more crazy, and I think let's start adding some characters in here. So just since I don't really know what I'm doing with Unity, I'm going to grab a character, the third person character again, just the prefab, third person controller. Let's drop him in the scene. Okay, so let's go get to 0. I might just move these aircraft out of the way since they're going to pop in their spot anyways. So let's just put them all at -20. So that's 25. Put this one at 50. Just to keep them out of the way. They'll pop back where they need to be when the whole thing starts. That's at -50. Okay, cool. So now we have our character. And what I want to do is I want to run this character around. So let's just move this camera up so we can at least see what we're doing. Let's try playing it again. There he is. So now what we can do is we can have people running around. Okay. So that's great. So what I'll do is I'm going to put trackers on this character. Okay, I'll add children. Okay, we'll refresh. We've got enough trackers, refresh. Okay, and then let's just play. So he's right under a plane right away. Whoa. Now this won't be a particularly interesting scene. Great, so we've recorded one take. Let's refresh that. So we have one take. I'm going to just, I could do one at a time, but I think I'll just record a few different takes. So, okay, so let's say we've done a whole bunch of these, which we have. And we'll just stop this for now. I don't want to use the Ethan character. I want to use a bunch of my own characters. So let's drag them in. So we have these are these prefabs I was talking about. We have the hero girl. We have the zombie. Bring in zombie. These ones are already set up, so you don't have to make sure they're in humanoid mode or anything like that. Zombie 2, come on. So I'll just do this. I'm going to create a game object. Create empty. Okay. And then we'll just put them like this. Oh, wait. We've got to make sure they're zeroed out first. Cancel. Okay. And let's put each one of these in here. 1. Okay, so in each one of these characters should be at 0. And then if we want to move them around, we'll do it in their offset. So that way we don't actually wreck the animation. But you'll see what we're doing after this in a second. So we're going to take each one of these characters and we're going to stick them in the timeline. Okay, so now we've put all the characters in there. Let's export our different takes. So we have 3 different takes. Let's go to take 1. We'll go export animation. Oh, let's make sure we're at 100. We don't want to export it at the different size setting. Preferences. Go here, scene track, animation. Let's make sure it's at 100. So that's the standard for Unity. Bonk. And let's go export animation. And now we got to go back to our original folder. So we want to be able to bring that animation back in. Whoops. Assets, plugins, film, scene track, content, ST exports. So we'll call this basic aircraft crowd 01. Crowd take 01. I'm going to copy that and paste it. So that's exported. Okay, so we've done take 3. Let's do take 2. Export animation. Okay, and now the only thing we have to do here is we just have to go to our exports and make sure that the crowd or the person, the member of the crowd, make sure that this is set to humanoid. And we apply to each one of them. So now what we can do is we have all these characters. We can just pop this open and drag and drop the animation as we please. Obviously, if we were being a little more discerning about this, we would pick the appropriate animation and be a little bit more specific of how we're working. But currently, I'm not that worried about it. Okay. Those two might be exactly the same takes. It doesn't quite matter. Okay, so now we have these characters. Let's move our Ethan character. You don't have to start out at 0. So we can take our third-person controller now. Let's move him over here. And we'll play the scene. Whoa, get out of the way of the plane, dude. Whoa. So now the characters can kind of avoid each other, interact a little bit if you want. Obviously, what you could do is tweak the animation. Like, you'd want to tweak your rig so they don't all look like the same character. So we just created another animation. So we'll refresh the takes. And we'll go export take 4. So this character is offset in a different spot. But that's totally fine. So we'll apply that, I guess, to the hero girl. So we'll go back to our timeline. Basic aircraft time. Oh, so we have zombie number 3. And let's go to our exports, and let's just make sure take 4 is set to humanoid. There we go. Apply. And we'll just drag this animation onto the only character that doesn't have animation yet. There we go. Now you can start tweaking these, of course. Like, you can move them around and have them start at different times and do all kinds of stuff. Doesn't all have to be exact. But there we go. So very quickly, we're going to start building up a whole little scene. If we really planned it out, we could start acting it a little better too, and have the characters all interacting with one another. But really quickly, we don't have to use AI or anything, and we can start having some pretty interesting animation cycles happening and populate a whole world if you really wanted to. Cool. Well, that's about it. I think that's... and then after this, of course, you can turn off the... put trackers on everything and export the animation and then bring it into whatever program you want to. So that's essentially how that works.